Hello.
Hello, everybody.
We're 10 minutes late, but I feel like it's the most on time we've been.
Maybe. I
You
don't
know,
know.
I don't know. It feels like we're on time. How are you today?
I'm alright. How are you?
I am good. I can't believe I sped read this book so fast. I wasn't even halfway through it yesterday, and I finished it this morning. I was so
Yeah,
proud of myself.
beautiful. Beat.
I was on demon mode.
You really were.
Yes, but today we are discussing the March Besties and Books book, which was Blood Like Magic by Liz. How do you say Lizelle
Lethal.
Sambury?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remembered. And yes, I really liked this book. What did you
Me too.
think? What are your
I mean,
overall
this
thoughts?
is my reread, right? So I read it before. I read it when it came out, or before
Yeah.
it came out. Oh my god, these headphones feel weird. They're too long on this one side. Okay. Um. Yeah. So this is my reread of this book. I also only have the arc. So I don't know if things are different in the final copy. I assume that they're not that different if they are.
Yeah, I guess we'll
But
find out.
this is the only copy that I've got. But I really like this book. I've been wanting to reread it for a very long time because the sequel came out last year, which I also have an arc for. And I wanted to reread this to read that, and then I just never got around to actually doing it. I
Yeah.
read like a little bit and then didn't finish. So I'm very glad that I reread it because I feel like while I remembered some things, I also found that I obviously forgot a lot of things, but I was
Yeah.
remembering it as I was reading, so that was really fun.
Mhm. I really enjoyed it. It took me a minute to get used to the writing style for some reason. I think it's just
Mm.
because there's like a lot of inner monologue that Boya has. But once I got into it, I loved her brain. I loved the way that she was thinking about everything, and I loved the story. I feel like it takes like magic, but like it has like a unique spin on it. Like it doesn't feel like a typical like magic book. Like there's just
Mm.
something about it that makes it like different and stand out more. And I really
Yeah.
enjoyed it. I was not, though, expecting the sci-fi element. I remember messaging you.
You have one piece of hair?
What is it doing?
Why is it kinked like that?
Um,
Well, I'm gonna
Anyhow,
hide it back there.
tuck it away.
Fine. That's so weird. So
Uh,
hyper focused on this one piece of
yeah.
hair.
But I remember I messaged you and I was like, I didn't know there was sci-fi elements to this. And you're like, how did you not know? I'm like, I don't know, but I didn't.
I mean, it's kind of understandable because I don't read sci-fi, so I guess if I'm
Yeah.
recommending you a book, you're not gonna expect it to be a sci-fi.
Hmm.
But it's not the sci-fi that I don't love is usually where it takes place on space and it's
Oh yeah,
overly
no, like spaceships and
sciencey
stuff.
and technical. There
Yeah.
was a book that I was really enjoying back in 2015. It was called Alive by Scott Sigler, I want to say his name was, and I was really enjoying it until the end, where all of a sudden it became a sci-fi book, and I was like, I have no
Yeah.
idea what you're talking about. But this one is just more focused on technology, which I feel like we are already so familiar with. It's just heightened in this world.
Mhm.
So I enjoyed that.
Yeah, I liked how it just had like a little sprinkle, and I didn't know that it would like take place in the future either. I
Mhm.
truly went into this book blind. Like I didn't even know. All I knew was it was something about like periods and magic. That's all that I knew going into it.
I
So
love how
I
this book opens up with her in a
yeah,
bath of her own blood. It's
yeah,
iconic.
it's so good. And it kind
Like,
of like at the end of the book, it's kind of full circle because like after
mhm.
everything happens, she's in the bath. I was like, I remember you.
But there's something about lounging in a bath of blood that makes me want to stay until my fingers shrivel enough to show the outlines of my bones.
Yeah,
Like what?
such
Iconic.
a good first line. It really sets it apart from everything else.
It really does. Um, while we're talking about it taking place in the future, I have a question because I don't know if the math is mathing or if
Yeah,
I'm just stupid. This book takes place in 2049, right?
yeah,
Thinking about that's disgusting because I'll be 49 in 2049,
yeah. It's gross.
right?
It's gross.
But there's one part where Granny, I feel like I'm about to make a fool of myself. I don't know. I feel like my brain's not working. Because surely Lizelle would have surely she knows what she's doing, right?
Yeah,
I don't know. But there's a part where Granny mentions that she's been Googling since she was a child,
yeah,
right? But she's a grandma. So
yeah.
surely she's older than 49.
Yeah.
Right? But Google has not been around that long, right? Like,
What was Google?
I
Let
don't
me
know. I
see.
feel like I was going to Google it. Google it. And then I forgot. But like, is she just like a really young grandma? Like, am I stupid?
Google was officially launched in 1998.
So that's like, that would make her just like just over 50.
I think, doesn't Boya say that she's in her 60s?
That sounds about right for a grandma.
I think so. How old
Like, how could she
is...
be Googling when she was a child? Unless like her saying child is not like a child, but like, you know,
Yeah.
because she's so old, she like is considering like a teenager, a child or something.
I'm trying to see.
It made me pause for a second. I was like, what?
Yeah. But I was like relating to it, like we were in the future. I was like, oh, I Google, I remember her, but like,
yeah,
still all we have is Google. But I was like, wow, what an icon.
Like, it's the first note I took. I'm like, the map can't be mapping, right?
Yeah.
Like, my only assumption is that when she's saying she was a child, she means like a teenager, because the older you get, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because like,
yeah,
I'm only 23 almost, so like I'm not going to consider like a teenager a child necessarily. When I say child, I'm thinking like 5 to 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't really know.
I don't know. That was just like.
But, yeah, if Google came out in 1998, though, it would make sense why she was like, because when does this book take place again?
2049.
2049. So if she's in her 60s, yeah, I think it would line up.
Yeah, I don't know. It was just like.
You're like,
it just made me pause for a second.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah. Okay. So I actually had a question
Yes.
for you about what you thought about the beginning, which I guess you already kind of talked about. But I was just like, what did you think of the whole beginning of the book? Her calling. So not just like the period bath, but like the actual like calling and like Mama Joya? Jova? What the hell is Mama's name?
Jova. Mama. I think it's Jova.
Mama, what's your name? Oh my God, I just had it on the page and I just moved it. I like saw it at the last second.
I saw it.
Okay, Mama. Okay, I need the rest of the name, not just Mama.
Yeah, it's Mama Jova.
Okay.
But yeah, I wasn't expecting it. Like, it took her into the past, which was like, it hurt. Like, that was so sad. And then I like how she was like, I can't form thoughts, but she was like, I can't like do a task. Like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. And then she's like, all right, then you fail. And she's like, oh, excuse me. She's like, no, give me another chance. I'll do it right this time. And then she gets the task, and obviously it's like, what kind of task is that? Like, what is this mama doing? So like, she was like, okay, you want a second chance? I'll give you a second chance, but this one's gonna be a doozy. So I was like, goodness gracious. I can't even imagine like that type of pressure, because like throughout the book though, it stated how like she has a hard time making decisions for herself, and like this is like a huge decision. Like literally everything is on the line. Like
not just her, but like other lives, everyone's magic, everything.
Yeah, her whole family.
So did you not know going into it that she was gonna fail her calling? Because you said
I think I did know that. I think I knew that she was gonna fail, but I didn't know like what was gonna come after that, I guess.
You didn't know what her like actual task ended up being?
Mm-mm.
Oh, so you didn't know.
Yes, I was shook. I was like, what is this? But yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah, so another note that I wrote was that I totally forgot about Eden's life being tied to the Thomas magic. So if Voya fails, she's gonna die.
Yeah. Really sounds like she's in a tube.
To me, Alyssa sounds like she's in a tube. Also, you spelled my name wrong, Deb.
Ridiculous.
Wow, whatever. I give up on life. Because
Brittany's like, all right, I'm out of here now.
My headphones worked when we were video chatting the other day.
Yeah, but now they're not.
They don't work on my computer, and I can't quite figure out why, and I don't care to figure it out. Yeah. So I completely forgot that was like an added element. There you go.
Yeah, that's better. Good job. Proud of you. But yeah, I was when Priya, that's how you That's her name, right? Priya?
Mhm.
Yeah, when she told Boya, I was like, excuse me? I was like, what do you mean she's gonna die? She's so little. She has so much life ahead of her. So
I
that just
know.
made like the decision like harder. Like,
Yeah. And it's like already the stakes are so high. So now you're just like adding on to that. Like poor Voya. Like I
yeah,
also cannot make decisions to save my life. So
nope.
I really felt for her in that moment. I'm like, I don't know what I would do.
Yeah, I would just freeze probably. Because if I'm faced with like too many decisions, like even if I'm just like, oh my gosh, the dogs. Even if I'm just like deciding like what I want to eat, I just like if it's two
Oh,
things and I
yeah.
want to eat both, like I just won't eat. Like I just won't do it. So
Literally.
yeah, she is like probably one of like the strongest main characters that I've read, just because of like
Oh.
just how she handles things and like just like the
Mhm.
things that like how she takes everything, I guess.
That makes sense.
So yeah,
I do
she's
quite like Voya.
yeah, she's
Um,
a cool girl.
do you want to talk about like the other characters then, while we're like on the topic of
Yes,
characters?
I loved her family. I feel like
There's a lot of characters.
there's so many characters. It took me a minute to keep them straight. I don't think I still have them like fully like known, but I
Yeah,
loved like the family
I can't remember when I first read it if there was like an adjustment period there for the characters. I'm sure there was. But because like going into it as a reread, I was already familiar with them somewhat. It took me like a second to get back into it, but I pretty much like remembered everybody.
Yeah, I feel like because like they're just so present in the story, it's easy to like familiarize yourself with everybody, like because like just how like they all live together obviously, so they're in Voya's life a lot, so it
Yeah.
was kind of easy to remember. But I liked a lot of the characters. They felt very realistic. Like it felt like not like a book, you know. Like they felt like real people that like I could know.
You just said like the opposite of that Harry Styles thing where he's like, it's a movie. It feels like a movie.
It's like a movie, yeah.
This book, it didn't feel like a book. That's what I
Yeah.
love about it.
Yeah, it was I like the characters. And I like how like with like the non-binary, like the trans rep and like all of that stuff, like it just feels like it's just like something normal because it is
Yeah.
like it wasn't like it's just like part of their life and I like the way that it was addressed.
Yeah, and I know that she had like a lot of sensitivity readers for that stuff too, to make sure that she was getting it right, which was really good.
Yeah. And one of the like little things that I liked was when they went to the New Gene, like the first like opening whatever thing that they went to.
Yeah.
I like how like when the characters introduce themselves, like they say their pronouns and like it's just like normalized and it was nice.
Yeah. My neighbor is yelling and it's distracting me. He's like, "How are you?" I don't know.
How are you?
He does that every day. He just yells to the people across the street. Very loud. So, who was your favorite character, would you say?
That's a tough one. Who was your favorite character?
Okay, here's the thing. I like all the characters, but I don't know if I'm necessarily like overly attached to any of them, if that makes any sense. Like I like Voya. I liked being in her head. I related to her and like the indecision of everything. I liked Luke. Luke was fun. And I liked Cave.
Yeah.
I feel like those were my favorites. And then Eden, of course, is an adorable little child. But like I don't know that like any of these characters are like favorite characters of all time, or like if they like really stick in my head that like concretely, I guess.
Yeah.
But I like
feel like
Voya.
Yeah, I feel like so much was just happening with the plot. It was kind of hard to like get to know the characters, I guess. So it's like hard to like pick a favorite because like some of them like they were on the page, but I didn't feel like they had like a lot of screen time. You know, like we didn't get to like know them. So yeah, yeah. But yeah, Case, I like her. She's a little fireball.
She was fun. I liked how she was like rebelling against magic, or like was being like her my cat.
Boots. She's got a lot to say.
She really does. It's funny because like she was meowing earlier and I meowed back at her and she kind of just stared at me and I was like, yeah, I can meow too. Deal with
wow, you tell her.
It was silly. But how she was like protesting against the magic. I was like, I don't want the magic to be all that I am. I know you were talking about that the other day when we were video chatting, I think. I like that part.
Yeah, it was good. And I like how like Voya is just trying to like encourage her. She's like, sure, like you don't want magic to be all it is, but like you have it, you might as well just use it and like show them that you can use it and still be more like without it.
Exactly.
If that makes sense. And then she finally got it and I was like, wow. But then the end of the book happened and I was like,
I also forgot that happened. I was like,
yeah.
what?
She just poofed to the house. I can't even imagine. Like you're just somewhere and then poof, you're not.
Yeah.
I would be like, excuse me.
I can't wait to see how that all like unravels and continues in the next book. I'm hoping to read it this month before like everything from this book flies out of my head. So like I really want to see how that plays out and like how the ending like affects their relationship in the long run and like if Case is able to forgive Voya and yeah, I'm very intrigued to see how the second book plays out. There's so much in the air. I want to know what's going on.
And like even with her getting 2 gifts instead of just 1, like everyone's just like, this has never happened before.
Oh,
like,
right. How did I forget that?
But I like
what are her 2 gifts?
The past and the future. She's able to like kind of travel between them. I think something along those lines.
Right.
But I liked like with like how the book ended, like with Case like being like stuck in the house. I like how like was it the past? Is that what it was when she was in the pool?
Like after? No, I forgot that was even a thing.
Yeah. Well, whenever she was in the pool, like Case, she was still watching. She was still watching from her room, like supporting, even though she told Voya, she's like, no, nothing to do with it. She was still like overseeing it. Like that just shows like how like strong like their bond and friendship is. But like it's just so sad.
I think it's gonna take a minute for her to come back around.
Yeah. Well, I would take me a minute to come back around. I'd be like, how dare you lock me in this house?
Like, she had so much potential. You're just gonna lock her in the goddamn house. Oh god. I love how we just like jumped to the end there, just like I don't know where. Did you like Luke? Did you like?
I did like Luke.
Development.
Yes, I had a feeling from the beginning that he was gonna be like a grumpy turned sort of sunshine, like not as like cloudy, but like there's still some little sprinkles of clouds, and I really liked his character. But I was getting kind of scared though when like all of the stuff like with Justin was revealed. I was like, what if like Luke is like kind of using her the way she's using him? I was getting stressed, but I liked him.
Yeah, I'm excited to see him again in book 2. And see what happens with his character and with Voya. I love him and Voya, and I want them to be together.
Their dynamic is just so like there's just something about it. It's just so good. And I like even when like Voya like told him like everything, he was like kind of like put off and like he was like uncomfortable, but like he wasn't like I don't know how to say it. Like he was kind of like you get it. And like even with everything like at the end with like Justin and the things and everything, like he was still trying to help because he knew that was the right thing to do. And like even though he was like in a tough position, because that's kind of like his father figure, you know. It was it got crazy.
I just realized it was one of my questions to like ask you about the relationship, and I totally forgot I'd written that down, and then I asked you it anyway.
Wow, look at you go.
Yeah. I think there's good potential in their relationship to continue in book 2, and I'm just very curious because jumping to the end again, like he thinks Justin's dead, right?
Yeah, that's like he's locked in her basement.
I forgot about that until right when it was happening, and I was like, wait a second, I think I remember something. Whenever I think I remember something, I'm always so skeptical of my own brain. I'm like, do I actually remember this, or am I making this up because this happened?
Yep. I'm the same way. It's just like if you gotta tell someone a story, you're like, did this actually happen? Did I see it on social media? Was it a dream? Did I read it? Like, where is this information coming from?
Yeah, so I'm really curious to see how he's gonna find out in book 2, because surely he finds out.
He's a smart cookie.
Yeah, I'm very curious to see like how he's gonna react to that, and I'm almost wondering if like him and Voya are gonna get to like a good place again, and then he's gonna find that information out and be like, well, why were you hiding this from me?
Yeah.
And like there's like some tension there. I'm very curious about the sequel. Clearly,
I'm excited. I'm gonna request it on a hold. I'm putting it on hold.
Like the thing is, it's like I'm in such a contemporary mood right now that I'm like, I'm not gonna get to it. But like, I'm only in a contemporary mood because I reread Alex Approximately by Jen Bennett the other day, and I read it in a day, annotated it, had the time of my life, and I was like, oh damn, I'm entering back into my YA contemporary era, and it's been a long time, I feel like, since I've read a lot of YA contemporary that like just wasn't a bunch of rereads. It's like I need to take advantage of it. To like digest all the stories because it's my favorite age category, my favorite genre, and I just like I felt so disconnected from it for so long.
Yeah.
I was like, I've got to gobble them all up.
Yeah, I bet it was magical. You're just like, oh, that's great.
Have you read Alex Approximately? You have, right?
I have not.
I thought you did. Who read it? I got somebody to read it at some point, I think. You need to read it. It's so cute.
I know. There's so many times that I've like almost picked it up but just haven't.
Can you please read it this summer?
It's
the perfect summer book.
I will try my best.
You have to do that vlog series where you read my recommendations.
Oh, I really do.
Was that book on there? Because if it's not, you can add it.
I think it was.
I love that book. And like sometimes like when you don't read something for a long time, like you forget how much you love it. And then I reread it and I was like, oh yeah. I love this book. The vibes like the vibes are immaculate. My hair just fell out.
Is it on here? Oh, I can check one of them off. I read Talk 33.
Oh. Let me tell you, hearing Lisa talk about it in her February wrap-up kind of broke my heart. I was like trying not to cry.
I still need to watch that video.
I watched her March wrap-up first, and then I was like looking for other videos to watch like a couple days later, and I was like, hold up, I didn't watch her February wrap-up. Like I thought that I had for some reason. Probably because I watched a vlog where she was like talking about books she'd read in February.
Yeah.
So it was just like, I thought I watched this already. So I'm like, sorry, I'm here now. I just watched your March one, but like, hi.
You're just like, hey, sorry I'm late.
Backtracking.
Yeah, I need to catch up on YouTube. I'm behind.
Yeah, you gotta watch my videos.
I do.
Okay. Off topic. We need to get back on track. Do you want to talk about Elaine? Auntie Elaine?
That whole plot thing, like, wow.
I completely forgot about it.
Yeah.
Not a single memory in my brain of that one.
Yeah, well, I like how it just, like, she just showed up so organically. Like, Voy was just looking for recipes, and she's like, oh, who's this? And then she asked her dad, and was it her dad or her uncle that she asked? I think it was her dad.
I think it was her dad.
And then he was like, don't talk about her. We don't talk about her. And it just, it makes it, like...
I haven't even seen that movie.
It's so good. And it makes more sense, like why he reacted the way he did, because like she was his sister. So like, yeah. It was crazy.
The note that I specifically wrote was about page 299, where Voya confronts the family about Elaine, because it was so emotional. Because she hadn't told Alex yet, and Elaine is her mom. Bootsy's doing her yodeling. Yes, and then like Alex is talking near the end about how Voya is the strongest of the family.
Yeah, that's what got me. It broke me.
Let me get the exact quote. Did you see me nearly just drop the book?
I did not.
Okay. Sometimes, she says, looking back at me, I think you're the strongest person in this family, Voya. And the most hacked thing about it is that we have never supported you enough for you to feel that way about yourself.
Yeah.
And then there's something in Alex's face that matches the mug on the floor. Shattered.
Yeah.
Love how she wrote that.
And then I like how Alex brings it up again, like a few chapters later. She's like, I meant what I said, by the way. Like, you are very strong. It was so good. Like,
yeah. Side note. Hacked. Do you like their like made up like swear words?
It took me a minute to get used to it. At first I was just like, why? But
yeah. I don't love when books do that. Because I'm like, I don't think swear words have like really changed all that much.
Yeah.
I'm like, why are there just randomly new swear words? But you know what? After reading Better Together by Christine Riccio, Hacked is is heaven compared to what she did in that book. So I can't complain.
Yeah. I didn't mind it.
It
just took a second. Yeah, I can tell just by the way you were staring.
Excellent. Of course. Holy glue Ludius and Maximus, like Jesus Christ.
Yuck.
That's all
Yeah,
I
but
know.
that whole scene was so emotional because like the whole family was there, like, and then Granny was just like, well, might as well tell them, and his dad was like, why? Not his dad, her dad was just like, we were like gonna wait till they're older, and then she's like, Boya already knows. Like,
Yeah, it's like, give it up.
too late. Yeah.
Like, can you imagine finding out about like your mom like that? It's like in front of your whole family and like this big like blow up moment, and Boya's like, I did not mean to do that.
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
And like she realized right after she said it too. She's like, I was supposed to tell Alex first, and like
that's the worst.
Yeah, but Alex took it so well. I don't know how she did that. Like,
we love Alex.
Yeah.
So back to Luke and Boya for a second. Page 354, Bestie. So, Boya says that he is a genius who can't even figure out how to return a container. He's like, if I give it back, what excuse will I have to keep inviting you places to return it?
Yeah.
Like, he has like this whole like shift in everything, because like he was so like not wanting to like fraternize with her at the beginning.
Yeah, he didn't want anything to do with Boya, and now he's like, I'm not gonna give it back.
He's like, what excuse did I have to see you?
That's so good.
I did you need an excuse.
Yeah, I think it's because like Boya's like giving him the time of day. Like she's just like not letting like his asshole tendencies to like push her away. Yeah, I was trying to figure out a different way to word it, but I couldn't. And so like he's just like, oh, like she sees me, like it's so good.
Oh, I love them so much.
Yeah.
So cute.
Yeah, but like it was just so sad because like the whole time Boya was just like, I'm supposed to fall in love with him, but like I have to kill him. I was just like, so she was scared to get close, and when she would, she's like, this is so good, and then she would remember. I was like, I don't know how.
I love tropes and stories like that of like something threatening like their first love, like the Raven Boys.
Yes.
Her whole life she's been told that she's going to kill her true love by kissing them. So she like never kisses anybody. Like she's dating Adam, but she's so terrified. And then like it's just beautiful.
Yeah, and I've already been like having like the want to read the Raven Boys, and this just like solidified it. So like I have to read the Raven Boys.
It's so good.
I have to.
I need you to finish it so we can discuss it.
Oh, I'm so scared.
Okay, I'll go page 338. Third paragraph. I don't know what that was. Oh, it's about Luke and Boya. Of course it is.
Of course.
So, okay. He said, I thought maybe you wanted to get your cousin an internship, but she's already being endorsed by somebody else. Justin got her into the tour when I couldn't, and I've already helped you with your aunt. There's no real reason for you to still be around, but you are, and that matters to me. Like, there's like multiple sides to that, because one, how adorable that he's just like, you're not getting anything from me, but you're still here. But then her knowing that like she does have like ulterior motives and she is there for something. Like, that's so cute.
Oh, I love them. They're so cute.
So much. Like I feel like the more we talk about it, the more I'm like, yes, I love them. Oh, I love a good romance.
Yeah, and it's like subtle. Like it's not like too much in this book, I feel like, but like it's like very it's just like it feels very like organic. Even though like she kind of has to force it, but like it's just she wrote it so well.
Their first kiss, Bessie. Their first kiss. I love that she used like, I like Luke. Not maybe kind of sort of like him. I like him, period.
Yeah.
Adorable.
Yep. I read that this morning and I was like, it's so good.
And then the whole kiss scene is so beautiful, and like this is something that I remembered in my head, like them being like under a tree, and like that was like one of like the main like memories that I have in my head of this book. Like usually with books, I don't remember specific details. I remember vibes and how it makes me feel, and like flashes of scenes.
Yeah.
So this is like one of the flashes of scenes that I remembered, but like not the details of it. I was just like, I just know they were sitting under a tree at some point.
Yeah. There was a tree involved.
Yeah. And he's like, this thing doesn't shed leaves much, does it? She's like, not really. More of a fall than a summer thing.
Yeah,
Like,
they got me.
he's like, no idea what's happening. He's like, Justin told me that if I wanted to kiss a girl, I should say there's a leaf in her hair so I can experience it closer.
Yeah.
Alright.
Oh. And then after the kiss, she was like, man, that leaf. Oh, it was so good. Oh.
I'm pretty sure there's something in there. It's a lot of hair. Probably a good idea to check. Like, why is that so funny?
Yeah, it's so good.
Like, you.
Mm-hmm.
We moved together slowly, not from tension, but inexperience.
Yeah.
Oh, and
Yeah,
then, oh my god. But yeah. We break apart and stay with our foreheads pressed together. Did you find the leaf? What?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my. Yeah.
Like, he just completely forgot.
Yeah, he's like, what are you talking about?
There are a few things that I love more than foreheads pressed together.
Oh, the foreheads.
I always try to find a way to slip that in somehow into like things I'm writing. Like that and like chin tilts and like just all of that. They kill me.
Something about it. It's just so good.
But she's like, I can't believe that you draw the line at hugs, but are totally okay with kissing.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, hugs can get so suffocating. I love hugs. Hugs are like my favorite thing in the entire world.
Didn't he say something about like you're literally just trapping someone with your arms? Yeah.
Like, sir.
But then he said like he'd be open to like maybe more hugs. I was like, please.
Like, I don't think I could be with somebody who didn't love hugs. So it was like, I'm such a cuddly huggy.
Mm-hmm.
Like my love language is definitely like physical touch. Like,
yeah. Well, hugs are just they're so nice.
I also am just a great hugger. So there's that too. Yeah. End of page 360. My notes were so vague.
We love vague notes.
It's like a scavenger hunt. Oh. Damn. I can't kill Luke because I'm in love with him, and my baby sister is going to die for it.
Oh, and the whole thing with like when she overheard her family like talking about how she can't do it, her mom was just like, "No, it's not. Like we don't believe you can do it. Like it's impossible." And she was like, "Do you think I'd kill your dad?" And she's like, "No."
Yeah. And
then, wow.
It's so complicated.
It is. Like you like just thinking about it, you're just like, "Oh, it can't be that hard." But then like once like your feelings get involved, like
oh yeah. Like, it's not just that you have to kill somebody. You have to fall in love with them first. And then like, it's so complicated because, like, a part of me is like, I'm so glad she found, like, a different perspective on it, a different, like, avenue she could go down with not having to kill Luke. But at the same time, it's like, but then she trapped Case, and that's also so sad. Like, there's no winning in this scenario for anybody, really. But
it was an impossible situation that she just had to make the best out of, and like, yeah.
Like, at least she didn't have to murder somebody. But like, at what cost? Like, is Kate just gonna be stuck in the house forever, or are they gonna like find a way to overcome that too in the sequel?
Yeah.
Because like she deserves so much more. Like, what did you do to deserve this? Nothing.
All she wanted was to just be like on her own, like to be independent and all this, and she just got the opportunity to.
I know, I'm gonna cry thinking about it. That's awful.
Wow. Yeah.
And like, oh, damn. And she's like, you chose him over me. It's like,
yeah, and then Boya's just like, I know that you're strong enough to get through it, like, but
and like he has nothing else. His whole life is his like work and being there with Justin, even though Justin's not like a robot thingy. You know, but like Case has a whole family, and she has like the motivation, the drive, and the passion for other things. It's just like
it's
a weird sound. Oh, okay. The part where she's hurt Bessie. and Luke demands to see her.
Oh yes.
Like, before everything falls apart. Like, he's just demanding to see her.
Yeah.
Where is it? Oh. Apparently, that monitor you have gave off some sort of spike, and he was over here pounding on the door and demanding to see you.
Yeah. So good.
Like, there's not okay. Another trope that I love is when a character is sick or hurt and somebody has to like take care of them or is like just really worried about them. Like he just wanted to see her to make sure she was okay.
Yeah.
And then it crashed and burned, but like
Yeah.
it's not
Really fast.
real bad. Like those visions she was having, terrifying.
Yeah. That was
Terrifying.
Yeah.
And
she was just like carrying on. Like she was just going on. Like I would not be able to do that. I don't know how she did
she's
it.
so much stronger than I could ever imagine or hope to be.
Yeah, just by like the blood thing on her mouth, like just that would like set me off. I can't imagine like the other things that she saw. Like
absolutely not. And like not being able to tell what's real and what's not. No, thank you. No. Can't do it.
Nope.
But yeah, there's nothing I love more than when characters are hurt and the other one just going feral.
Yeah. Oh, it's just like Kaz and Edge. It's just there's just something about it.
Yes, absolutely. So good. So
yeah.
good.
And then she had like the rubber things to like cover her wounds, and she's like, "Where did this come from? This is expensive." And then her dad's just like, "Oh, Luke brought it for you." Like.
We love characters taking care of each other.
Yes, we do.
Oh yeah. So Case finding out everything, which we were just talking about. I had to destroy my first love. Luke. No. He's my first romantic love. But you're my first love ever. I just needed to pick one of you. Like, Case's eyes are dry. Somehow that's worse than if she were crying, because I know the only reason she isn't is because she can't. She's already cried too much. There's nothing left. That was the choice. The one you were struggling over, and you picked me. What does that even mean?
Yeah. The whole interaction just...
Case is like, you wanted this. You wanted me here. You knew the internship would mean that I would leave this house to have my own life, that I wouldn't be able to spend every waking moment with you. You did this so I could be like you, stuck in this house without a future.
Yeah. Yeah.
In Case is like boo hacking who.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
well, because like
imagine.
she knew, like Voya was like torn, like she knew like something was up, and she just wasn't telling her, and then she figured out this was what it was. Like,
like just knowing that like the whole family has like been taken hostage by Justin, and Case just has to stay at home, unable to do literally anything.
Mm-hmm. And she was on the phone with Voya's mom.
Yeah,
I would be furious.
I wouldn't know what to do with myself.
No.
Yeah, those are all the specific notes I had. All over the place, mainly about Luke and Voya.
Yeah, love them.
Yeah. I did write some notes like about the plot that I was just really invested. Like normally I have to be like more connected to the characters, and not like I wasn't. I was connected to these characters. But normally like that's what I'm following and that's what I care about the most. Like just the plot in general was like really interesting. Really interesting.
Yeah.
Like just the constant wondering of like how is she going to complete this task? How is she going to find a way around this? Is she going to have to end up murdering Luke? Like,
and somehow like the stakes just kept getting heightened, and then we learned about Elaine, and then we learned about Justin, and like just like everything. Like I just couldn't stop reading. Like it was just it was addicting. Like
which is good because you had to read it very quickly.
Oh yeah, no.
There, yeah.
This was a good book that I chose to procrastinate because I was able to read it so fast.
It's a big book too. Like you fucking read a lot real quick.
I was on X Games mode, dude.
Yeah. Like damn.
Yeah.
This book is wild. I'm so glad that you enjoyed it.
Oh,
I definitely enjoyed it. And it's a Canadian author, you know. Gotta support the Canadians.
Mhm. Yeah, I'm trying to go through my highlights to see if there's any like quotes that I really liked. There were a lot of good quotes in this book.
Mm-hmm. The whole concept of this book is just so interesting to me. And like it was really fun to see all like the little Canadian like hints in there, like the mention to like the Royal Bank. Like that's like our main bank. I'm like,
The only
cool.
one I understood was Tim Hortons.
Yeah. Like I should have like written them down to be like, do you know what this is?
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just so nice. Like I don't live in Toronto, but like there's some things that I just like recognize.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The one thing that I found was really funny because I think in the beginning, like Voya was talking about like how mean Case is and like how mean Keisha can be, and she's like, for Canadians, it doesn't make sense. You'd think they'd be nicer.
See, that bothered me. I'm like, no, you're Canadian.
Yeah.
Why do you keep mentioning this silly stereotype that Canadians are like overly polite and nice? Because like, while yes, it is true to an extent, it is. But it's also like we also have some really shitty asshole people here.
Yeah.
We're like anywhere else.
Yeah.
We may say sorry more than the average human, but
Mm-hmm.
like we've been having a lot of problems with knives recently. Like people getting like stabbed and stuff on the street. Like there was one like recent, not like to get dark, but like there was one recently where like a dude was like slashed across the throat. Yeah. And I'm like, I just heard one today, like this dude was just casually carrying a knife around and like threatening people on the train. And then like tried to like attack a police officer. And I'm like,
what is going on over there?
You live in America. What is happening
that's
in the world?
That's so scary.
Yeah, my mom was talking about how like she's scared to like go to Florida, I think it was, because of like some laws that are like, I don't know, some about guns. And I'm like, it's not that safe here either, right?
Yeah.
It's not safe anywhere.
The world is crumbling.
Oh my god, I didn't take my medicine.
Uh-oh.
What just fell? My nail fell. What was that? With a vengeance. I don't know, where did it go?
Oh, there was one thing that I really liked though, is like when she was talking to Luke about something, and then like she was telling him like what he should do for like what he's like passionate about and all that stuff, and he was like, you're so good at making choices for other people, like why don't you do this for yourself? And she's like, because I enjoy doing it for other people more. And then even with like the cooking thing, he was like, you should like do the internship for cooking. And then he's like, that's what you want to do, right? And she was like, no. And he's like, well, what do you want to do? And she's like, take care of my family. He's like, no, but for you. She's like, no, this is like all I want to do. Like, you don't get it. And it's just,
you don't understand.
She's like, I live and breathe my family, dude. That's all I want to do.
It really does though. So you gotta do things for yourself too, bestie.
Yeah, hopefully she figures that out in the second book, is to do more for herself. And I like how with like when they were doing the ritual for her, what's it called, the powerful, like the head witch of a family, I forgot what
matriarch.
Yeah, when they were doing the matriarch ritual, like her grandma was just like, make sure like you do things for you, like it can be for the family, but bottom line, like do it for you. I was like, please.
Dude, for some reason, I thought that Voya went evil at the end.
Really?
Yeah, and I think it's because of the scene with Justin. Like, I couldn't remember it, but I just remember like the vibes of it. Like in my head, I was like, she goes evil at the end. And I was reading it. I'm like, what the fuck was I on?
Like she's unhinged now.
I remember that she became the matriarch, but I thought she was like an unhinged matriarch. Like she did something crazy to get there.
Oh, that's funny.
That would have been interesting. Would have been like a complete 180.
Yeah. It would have been like, what?
Like, where the fuck did that come from?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. It's crazy, dude.
Good soup. I really want to read her horror novel too, Delicious Monsters.
The cover is so good.
Oh,
The
so
cover
good.
is so good. Didn't it just come out? Or is it coming out?
Yeah, I think it came out in February or something.
Oof. Yeah, I want to read
I want to
that.
get it from the library though, because I've got other books I need to buy.
This quote from the chapter 1. It was, sometimes the things that can change your life are physically small, but mentally enormous.
Oh.
So good. So good.
Changed my whole world. I was like, yeah,
Yeah.
feel that. That's a good.
Yeah.
That's a good one. She did something with that.
Yeah. And then, like, for me personally, like, I was talking about this earlier, like, when it comes to choices, like, I get so paralyzed. Like, I can't make a choice sometimes. Like, and then it's just, like, how everyone's, like, just encouraging her to, like, just choose. But she's like, it's not that easy. Like, what if I choose the wrong thing? And then so she's trying so hard to do the right thing, but she ends up, like, hurting more than if she would have just, yeah.
Yeah.
It's
complicated.
Mm-hmm.
Complicated. Whoa, you can mirror your camera? Whoa.
Yeah.
Oh, weird. Why would you? Ew. Why do I look like
I
that?
mirrored mine because it looked very strange the other way.
But like, this is like the correct way. Like,
yeah,
weird.
it's weird.
That was.
I don't know.
I was trying to see if I could do the dark mode like you were talking about earlier.
Yeah. Oh, I had to get an extension for it. I can send it to you.
Oh, okay. I don't care that much.
Oh, there was this one scene where Foya was somewhere, and she was like, my wide hips knock against one of the desks as I make my way up. And then she's like, I would stutter out sorry and duck my head face hot until it happened when my mom was around. And she was like, don't feel bad for taking up space with your body. People are always going to want to force you to be smaller to fit what they want. I was like, wow. Wow.
Yeah.
So many good things. And I like how when they were talking about like food, when her and Luke were talking about food, she was saying something about how like if she doesn't eat on time she gets nauseous, and Luke was like, oh, I think you should just eat when you feel like eating. And she's like, oh, how often do you eat? And he's like, once a day. And she like looked at him, and he was like, please don't look at my body. And she like respected it. Like she was like, oh, sorry, like I didn't mean to make you uncomfortable. But again, like how does he survive on one meal a day?
I don't get it.
I don't understand.
I love their relationship so much though.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just
so good. Beautiful.
It is. I'm trying to see if there's any more quotes. Oh, there was one where she was like, I couldn't choose anything, so I said nothing. And I put, that's a mood, right, guys?
It is.
Oh, and then when her dad is like explaining like everything, like his past life and all this stuff, and she's like, who is this? Like, this is my dad?
Yeah.
She's
like it's so weird to know that like your parents had like a life before you and like they're actual humans. They didn't just like appear on the earth as your parents.
Yeah, it's weird. I was thinking about that with my own parents the other day. I was like, they were my age at one point.
I think
like,
that's when we were video chatting.
Probably. I think it was.
I was showing my dad's old student IDs.
Yeah. And I was like, that's so weird.
Yeah, like my dad was 13 once. Ew.
Yeah, very strange. What else is there? Oh, and then she was like, everyone is moving towards something and I'm floundering.
Oh.
Oh, yep. There was, another thing that I really liked. Well, I didn't really like because it was sad. But I think it was when, like, she figured out, like, Luke was there, and then she heard her parents talking about how they didn't believe in her, so she ran out of the house, and he was waiting for his car. But he didn't call. And then so she ran to a place where she feels, like, comfortable. And then he was like, well, I might as well just hang out here with you on the shitty dock. And she was like, huh? And he was like, no, like, there's literally, like, there's shit all over. Like, it was so good. But then he didn't call the car because he wanted to stay longer. It's so good.
Amazing.
Yeah. Overall, though, I really enjoyed this book.
It was good. This was a good pick.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was great. And I can't believe I read it so fast too. Like
I'm just in shock.
Yeah. Yep. It was good.
It's like a quick read. Like it's got a good pacing to it, a good, easy writing to read.
Yeah, it was good.
It lends well to being read quickly, I think.
I'm very excited to pick up the second book though and see what
Me
happens.
too.
I feel like I'm just gonna do it like immediately. Like
Yeah. I would if I wasn't like tunnel visioned on contemporary right now. And like I'm also reading the journals of Ella Montgomery, the author of Anne of Green Gables, and so I'm also like in that world too. She's funny. A lot of my annotations. I don't know why I was shocked, okay? Because there are funny moments in Anne, but I'm like, as a human being, like, you're also funny.
Yeah, she's like, you're a silly ghost.
Yeah, like she like refers to her journals like a real person. She's like, I know what you're thinking. And I'm like, you're a real human, bestie.
She's just like me for real.
I know, but like the way I'm reading it, I'm like, this is the author of Anne of Green Gables. Like, I'm reading the actual words that she wrote. Like, she was a real human being. Like, what? It's shocking.
Yeah, that's so funny.
Can I show you something though? There is a cursed image in here. Okay, I'm like, I'm glad that I had it just next to me. My mom doesn't think so. She's like, what's so cursed about that? I'm like, you can't see her eyes. It's cursed. That's not Montgomery, but like, what?
Oh, yeah, I don't like that.
It's like one of her friends. But it's like, I literally wrote down, this photo looks cursed. And my mom's like, did you write that? And I was like, of course I did. Because it looks cursed. It's
You're like, who else would have wrote it?
She's like, it doesn't look like you're writing. I'm like, what the fuck do you mean? That's exactly what my writing looks like. Good stuff though. There's like a lot of journals too. She's got like multiple volumes of her journals.
Ooh.
Yeah, anyways. Good stuff.
I think I would like be deceased if my journals were to be published. Well, I probably literally would be, but like I wouldn't want people to read it.
She knew that they were going to be, like, she went through them before she died. And like when Anne of Green Gables started to get popular, and she edited some more scandalous things out, like put into pages and stuff.
Yeah.
And then I think she put it in her will that it went to her son, and her son could like do with what he wanted with them. And so he like kept them under like lock and key for like a very long time. Yeah. So she knew they were going to be published one day.
Yeah.
So it's not like they just stole her journals.
She was ahead of the game.
It's not like Anne Frank, where they literally stole her diary. That's sticky. No, she knew they were going to be published. She went through them, changed things. Up for ease.
Yeah.
We stand Ella Montgomery.
I'm excited to read Anne of Green Gables eventually.
Oh yeah, it's good too. I don't really have anything else to say though, Bessie.
I don't think I do either.
It was a good book. It was a good time.
Yeah.
Good fantasy moment. Bootsy's yodeling. She's also got things to say.
She's saying hello.
She's like, don't you dare end this live yet. I've got stuff to say.
She's like, I got more.
You thought we were done.
Oh, love Bootsy. What a kitty. But yes, so that was our discussion for Blood Like Magic. For this month, we are reading Flower Heart by Catherine Bakewell.
My finger was just going like this. You're like,
yeah, I don't know why I did that. It was
this one we're reading.
But yes, Flower Heart is the book pick for this month. I don't know if we're doing sprints or not, but the discussion will be on Brittany's channel for this one. So yeah, I'm excited for this one. And yeah, I don't know how to end lives. What else do I say?
Peace out, suckers.
Bye guys.
Bye.
See you later.